A Child's Internet Guide. Chapter 1. Child using the Internet. Children are naive, curious and do stupid things. I remember when I was a kid at about 12 years old, I felt pretty wise about the ways of the world, but it was academic smarts. I had this naive view that most people had good intentions. They were out for the good of the world, but then I saw that poverty, injustice, and inequality made a lot of people angry, and that made some of them evil. On top of that, nobody seems to want to acknowledge that some people are born evil. They use evil methods to get what they want as a matter of routine. Being raised as a Catholic, the first thing I learned in Catholic school religion class was that I'm evil by birth. I have to rise above it by following God and the 10 Commandments. I was about TWNTY when I read Dante Alighieri's 7 deadly sins, which are pride, greed, gluttony, lust, sloth/laziness, anger, greed. This is when I realized those intuitive feelings I had as a kid were right, that the 10 Commandments did not cover like there is something wrong with someone being fat or grumpy all the time even if they're not committing a sin. We have to get over this naive idea that humans are intrinsically good. The biff secret is that we all live alone in our own minds. How many pillars of society do they catch with their pants down or their cell phone full of porn? It never hit me until I saw the guy at rumble.com making videos about catching child predators. He had a female detective on for some police department in South Dakota. She said she's working on something like 1,500 child molestation cases. That's just for one police force in one county. I think they should have some crime workshop video that they show at every elementary school everywhere every year. It's not only crooks that exploit kids. Retail companies try to get their private information in order to market products at them. Children need to be aware of privacy and security online. If parents decide to allow their children to use the internet to buy online, they should make sure their children understand how to use and make purchases safely and responsibly. The Children's Online Privacy Protection Act of 1998, COPPA, requires certain commercial websites to post a privacy policy, obtain verifiable parental consent for a child's information to be submitted online, and offer options regarding disclosure of that information to third parties. The Act allows civil penalties for violations. Supervise your children's use of your credit card, and or fund a prepaid account for their use. Guide them through a basic budget so they know where their online finances stand. Teach children to think carefully about what they read online so they can 1. Recognize and understand the difference between information and product ads. 2. Decide for themselves if information is truthful and comes from a reliable source. 3. Understand that websites they visit for entertainment may in fact be advertisements. Teach children to recognize when they are being asked for personal information and to refuse requests for personal information unless they first obtain your permission. You should also discuss with your child the implications of supplying false information. Make it a rule that your children get permission from you before registering on a site, signing up for a contest, asking for a pen pal, responding to a poll, survey, questionnaire, or application, signing a guest book, or giving out any personal information. Explain to your children why they should never divulge personal information publicly in chat rooms or message boards, or privately in email, without first asking for your permission. Investigate the parental control features on private membership sites so you know what content they exclude. Filters differ widely in their identification of harmful material. Their priorities affect their ability to discriminate, for example, between pornography and legitimate medical reference materials. If you are considering using any parental control tools, do your own research and only use those tools that are suited to your needs. These include 1. Browsers or membership sites oriented toward children. 2. Software intended to be used for filtering, censoring, or blocking access to particular web content or ads. 3. Internet service providers that offer filtering services, or censoring or blocking software. 4. Rating systems. 5. software that lets you track or monitor the sites your children visit. Talk to your children about what they may see on the web, whether or not they are using filtering or other parental control programs. Make sure your children know that you have concerns about some of what they might see online. Explain that many web tools do not block alcohol and tobacco sites and advertisements. ftc.gov/bcp/profiling/index.htm ftc.gov/os/19998/9809/priva998.htm copacommission.org/report peacefire.com. Chapter 2. Evil people try to kidnap naive young people. Child predator/internet luring 1. Despite everything you see in the media about internet luring, most of it is hype because all teenagers know that there are evil strangers out there, so they can't get lured unless they're complicit. If you talk to someone and see them on a webcam, you immediately know they're an adult, so you can end it right there. The only people doing the luring nowadays are undercover cops, and even there, that could be construed as entrapment because they're really acting flirty around these men they're trying to get to lure them. Before I get to the topic of cyber predators as people, if you're extremely religious and worried about the moral development of your children, the internet itself can be viewed as a cyber predator because it makes everything sexual, immoral, degrading and violent easily available to anyone with the click of a mouse should they want it. It's very easy for any kid to see all kinds of porn, even the illegal kiddie porn if he wants, gay porn, fetish porn, violent porn, etc. At the very least, the internet itself is the tool that can lure your child into a world of sex addiction well before his natural time, so my point should be obvious. If you as the parent want to protect the child, don't give him or her private use of the internet. As a matter of fact, do what I did for at least 3 years after the internet got big. I never used it. I did my computer work with my software and bought the occasional CD-ROM. I never used the internet. Kids don't need their own cell phones, they don't need to send emails to other kids around the world they don't know. They certainly don't need a webcam. They should do like I did as a kid. I focused on my own self-development and the development of friendships in my neighborhood in my own local area. I went to the library for knowledge. You can get by without the internet. Buy them educational CD-ROMs and books. The second frontier of concern is talking through the chat lines and news groups out there. Currently, there are no laws regarding slutty cyber talk amongst adults, only with minors, where you could be charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor or child molestation from cyberspace. Laws are currently being passed which make it a criminal offense for an adult to lure a juvenile over the internet. However, how do you catch someone if your 13-year-old daughter is willingly having a private chat relationship with some older guy she barely knows anything about on the internet? It's a two-way street. Children are not as innocent as we might have been. They go out looking for wild, crazy, dangerous experiences with so-called bad boys and girls on the internet. I remember me as a 13-year-old going to so-called parties where there were older people I didn't know who got high with me. I was stupid and naive, but I didn't know that. I wanted to see what was out there, all that glittery stuff I saw on TV for real. I could got bopped or raped or killed there, but I didn't. I was lucky. It could have happened easily. It has happened to others, but how do you stop kids from exploring the world? Most kids will. Some will be casualties of it. Kids like to get on the internet and talk dirty, especially while hanging out with their preteen and teen friends on a Friday or Saturday night. From the other end, if you're an adult and think you're talking to a 13-year-old girl somewhere, you could be talking to an undercover FBI agent or any law enforcement person from any local police department anywhere posing as a teenager, because they are all setting up cyber crime units. Up until recently, the law was that you have to go meet someone in person to be charged with a criminal offense, but with these new laws on the forefront, merely by talking to a juvenile in a sexually suggestive way or showing a picture of yourself naked on a webcam could be enough to get an adult arrested and charged with a felony. The term they use is sexual solicitation, or less dramatic is sexual harassment, simply sending sexually explicit emails to the object of your affections. If a girl or guy in a teen social chat room identifies themselves as generally under 16, because the definition of consenting sexual relations is different everywhere, so if someone identifies themselves as 16 or over, that might not stick in a court of law, so undercover officers often identify themselves as being between 13 to 15 years old. If somebody identifies themselves as under 16 on a chat room and somebody starts talking them, then very quickly gets into sexual subjects, it could be another teen or it could be an adult law enforcement officer posing as a teen. If it is an adult posing as a teen, this act is enough for a criminal charge that goes by various names, but it could be simply contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Luring is the next step. They make a rendezvous to meet somewhere with the presumption that they will have sex. If it's an adult making this date with someone he knows is under 16, this is now a serious charge and will result in prison sentences, whereas a few years ago, there was no law to deal with this. There was a case of a guy who got busted simply for hiring an underage girl to have sex with him over the internet even though he never even met her. If an adult goes to meet a child physically, which is called traveling, that's taking it one step further, which is now pretty well illegal everywhere, for an adult to go see an underage person he met over the internet for the purpose of initiating an emotional love-sex relationship. If that's you, save it for people over 18. If you're an adult, don't talk to people under 18 socially on the internet. Don't even take that chance. He or she could be an undercover cop. It's not worth it. There are thousands of young adults on the internet willing to talk to older guys. Save it for someone who identifies themselves as 18 or over. Children are naturally curious. They will talk to anyone on the internet and respond to interesting, alluring cyber buddies who could be molesters looking for young boys or men looking for teenage girls, often masquerading as someone considerably younger and more dashing than they actually are in real life. Most of these guys are middle-aged, average guys, usually married with a respectable job and children of their own. If anyone plans to meet a teenager in real life that you met online, beware of statutory rape laws with minors over and above cyber solicitation laws. If you're a kid or you pose as a 13-year-old boy or girl who gets into a teen community/chat room and seem open, someone somewhere will start talking to you. If this person starts talking about sexual topics within a few minutes, that's inappropriate and it's not something teenagers typically do. They might ask about boyfriends or girlfriends, ask them if they have ever played with themselves, seen other people of the opposite sex naked or had sexual relations before, even asking about abuse, if someone played with their privates when they were kids. They might email them a few porno images, implying it's okay to look at these things and get turned on. If the kid has a webcam, they might ask to see him or naked, then praise them for their beautiful bodies. Kids are suckers for compliments. They might even offer them money to sit there naked for 10 minutes while the guy masturbates. It's easy to exchange money when you join an internet money transaction service that is typically reserved for people selling stuff through auction websites, but you can use them for anything. Most cyber predators are not hardened criminals. They are average to respectable people in the community. Personally, I don't get it because there are plenty of casual sex dating websites around for adults, but these people are interested in teens for one reason or another. Maybe they're just not aware of Adult Friend Finder and similar websites. The biggest problem with teens who have been approached like this is that they're afraid to tell their parents because they figure their parents will immediately shut the internet off or take the computer out of the bedroom. For parents, know that kids get lonely, curious, they're sensitive, innocent and naive. When someone starts talking to them in cyberspace, giving them attention, telling them they're all that, many girls and guys alike, talking to gay guys, will go for it, meet the guy somewhere and maybe run away to his house. Again, it's a two-way street. When I was a kid, we stole the library sex books in grade 6, so that puts me at 11 years old. We couldn't get them without a note from our parents, so we just stole them. It proves that I, as a typical kid, was interested in those things at that age. If your kid drastically increases time on the internet, starts talking on the phone in hushed tones, get cyberspying software and caller ID so you have a record if your child runs away. Personally, I have still never been on a chat line. I have no social need to talk to a stranger. Build a life for yourself so you don't need these things. You could always arrange to give him access to websites, but don't get chat software or email software for him so that he can't communicate with anyone. And if you don't want him or her to see sexy pictures, delete the picture viewer software or the My Pictures storage file from the computer. Get text-only internet capacity. If you're a woman over 18 and a guy starts to hassle you online, report him to your ISP and his ISP, but that's probably all you can do. Threats don't cut it unless they're against the president and maybe against your life. If a cyber predator stalks you in real life, report him to the police. Some cyber predators get revenge on people they don't like online simply by putting messages on sexy chat lines or websites instructing people to either send emails or call that person's phone number to harass them about vile subjects. Some stalkers use remailers to stay anonymous so they can't be caught. Some take pictures of sexy women out of a magazine or other website, put them online, call the picture the person they're harassing, and invite further stalking by others by making it a swinger ad for sex. Many local municipalities do not have laws against cyberstalking, so you have to find a police department around where you live equipped for internet surveillance that might take your case. If your local police can't help you, try other departments or your state/provincial or federal police like the FBI or the RCMP. Some of the cyber predatory laws are Telecommunications Act, 1996, using the mail or computer to entice minor to commit a sex act. Child Pornography Prevention Act, 1996. Child Online Protection Act. Child's Privacy Protection and Parental Empowerment Act. Child Predator/Internet Luring 2. Talk with your child about internet safety. Many lonely, rejected, depressed and shy young people go on the internet where they find internet friends and chat with them. Sexual criminals or adult men in general who don't understand the seriousness of internet luring and statutory rape laws go on youth and teenage chat websites posing as either a cool teenager or a guy slightly above their age, about 21 or so. Even after a girl says she's under 18, some of these guys continue to pursue her for a real date in the real world. This is internet luring. It's against the law. Parents can easily spot warning signs in children and teenagers. Progressively more time being spent on the internet. Uses computer in private or when others are not around. Child or teen states that he/she made a new friend on the computer. Child receives nude pictures, posts nude pictures or visits a lot of porn sites, particularly ones with one theme which the lurer might be trying to groom her with. The child's grades go down. It's not healthy in the physical sense to spend long hours on the internet doing useless, frivolous stuff anyway because it turns you into a passive spectator. Use age-appropriate filtering, blocking, and monitoring software on all internet-enabled devices including laptops, wireless phones and video games. Stay involved in your child's online world by monitoring who your child is communicating with online. Just look in the history box to see what he or she did or use cyber spying software which copies every key your child hits. Explain to your child that he/she should never give out personally identifiable information online. Make sure your child knows never to meet someone they met online face-to-face without first talking with you. Explain the consequences of posting inappropriate material online such as negative, bullying comments. Check text messages on the child's cell phone. Most of the websites below are stories about police undercover sting operations where they pose as young girls and young guys then bust people who are perceived as respectable citizens in the community. One of these websites even goes so far as to say it's a bit extreme to call some guy chatting sexy with some girl on the internet a sex predator or offender even though he knows she's supposedly underage because she said so, but NBC got a lot of mileage out of it with spectacular headlines on their show Dateline about sex predators and internet lurers. They were basically ordinary guys looking for sex with consenting females. I can't excuse the fact that they were informed by these girls, undercover cops, that they were under the statutory age of consent for that particular area, but I nevertheless felt like I was watching a witch hunt and an entrapment situation. I think we shouldn't just all jump on a bandwagon like a bunch of brainwashed clones and brand any guy who goes on a chat room and starts talking to a girl who gives him the come on signals a sex predator or an internet lurer. If it's done on the internet, it's always a two-way street. It's not like the guy is manipulating someone in person, and I don't believe the adolescents are as naive as they claim to be after the fact. For the adults, I say there are plenty of casual sex dating websites out there. Stick to them. Don't tempt temptation by going to some teen chat room like MySpace or Friendster then start trolling for friends. It's not that hard to find girls or guys over 18 willing to have cyber sex or real sex with you. Let's not get all bent out of shape here. Guys will be guys. Girls will be girls. I've seen a bunch of not very pretty girls getting their kicks in the corner of a college computer center chatting with some guys somewhere. Guys are normal. If they see a fish that bites, they will go for it. Anybody that goes on a chat room is a willing volunteer. Be like me. I don't need or want chat rooms. It's all a frivolous waste of time to me, but people are human. They want to connect. You could get a few personal ads at casual sex websites and respond only to people who contact you first, but even this is not good enough if the person is underage. Stick with the adult-only dating websites. There are underage girls prostituting themselves on the internet. They like the easy money. Again, it's a two-way street. They're looking for customers. Have you seen some of the 14-year-old girls nowadays, brainwashed by music videos and frivolous women's magazines? They're what you might call sassy. They think they're cool, modern, enlightened and aggressive. The modern girl is supposed to go after what she wants and get it. This is the message they brainwash them with. The frivolous girls' magazines treat casual sex as though this is what normal, healthy girls do as a normal part of their lives, so don't go trying to paint a picture of big, bad wolves preying on naive innocence, because it ain't true. It takes two to tango on the internet. Every male now knows that if a girl or guy identifies themselves as under 18 or whatever the statutory age of consent is, they could be an undercover cop, so before you decide to have cyber sex or ask her to meet you somewhere, you know that she's a minor and you would be breaking the law, so back off and find someone who claims to be 18 or older. A lot of young girls are looking for a sugar daddy. They're the ones putting the moves on the older guys. Are these guys sexual predators? Remember, despite how the mainstream sensationalizes it, you're still talking about two people having a free, consensual conversation online. Nobody is forcing anybody to do anything. Anybody can pull the plug anytime they want. It's called harmless fun and learning about life. Chapter 3. Child Online Safety Websites. Canadian Children Online. GetCybersafe.ca. Internet Family Websites / Internet Filter Websites. FilterReview.com. InternetFilterReview.com. AimConnect.com. AJKids.com. AltaVista.com, click Family Filter at Settings. ANTI-SOCIAL.cc, Productivity application for Macs that turns off the social parts of the Internet. BeSafeHome.com. Censorware.net, the Censorware Project. Censorware.net/reports/cyberpatrol/ada-yoyo.html. CNET.com, find free software. ComputerLearning.org, Computer Learning Foundation, use technology responsibly, resources and guidelines for children's use of computers. ContentWatch.com. ContentWatch.com. CrayonCrawler.com. Crosswalk.com. Cyberongles.org. Cyberpatrol.com. Cyberpatrol.com. cyber-safety.com. Cyberzitter.com. Cyberzitter.com. dansguardian.org. dibdabdo.com. dot-kids.com. enologic.com. enologic.com. ergo.human.cornell.edu/cukkhinfo.htm. Kids need to learn healthy habits for working at a computer. iGuardian.com. FamilyConnect.com. family-source.com. FamilyWatchdog.us. Freeverse.com/bumpercar2. GetNetWise.org. efed.net, Internet Free Expression Alliance. InternetFilter.com. K9WEBPROTECTION.com, K9 Web Protection, Free Internet Filter and Parental Control Software. KIDS-ONLINE.net MacFreedom.com, productivity application that locks you away from the Internet for up to 8 hours at a time, allowing you time to do other things. NetNanny.com. 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 OpenItinitiative.net. ParentalControlBar.org. ParentPresent.org, Trust File, a collection of kid-safe sites. Peacefire.org/censorware. Peacefire.org/censorware/smartfilter. Peacefire.org/censorware/websense. pearlsw.com/products/cybers/noop/index.html. proginosco.com/leechblock.html, a productivity tool designed to block sites on the Internet. safeeyes.com. sccurecomputing.com. securitiesoft.com. softforyou.com. softforyou.com. solidope.com. surfcontrol.com. surfcontrol.com. surfmonkey.com. surfnetkids.com, surfing the net with kids. parentsoup.com/online guide, parentsoup online guide. symantec.com. websense.com. windshare.com/kbindex.htm. wraac.org, Internet Parental Control Tool. yahooligans.com. Anti-cyber predator resources. In order to protect yourself beyond just getting blocking websites, refer to the following websites for hands-on information on how to protect yourself. The biggest rule is to never let your child meet someone he or she met on the Internet without being there. It could be a molester masquerading as a 13-year-old kid wanting to meet your kid at the mall. He could even have a 13-year-old masquerading as the kid with him pretending to be the father. Then once your kid gets in the car with them, he's at their mercy. There's a 911 hotline for rules about sex with kids on the Internet at missingkids.com. If you want to report a cyber crime, go to either missingkids.com/cybertype 800-843-5678, or the FBI's cybertypeline.com. For books about parent guides to the Internet, try number 004.678 at the library. For books on how to street-proof your kids, try number 362.71 at the library. Bascom.com, list of useful sites. coleskids.org media-awarenessa.ca/english/special_initiatives/web_awa. renus/index.cfm-stays-afeinline.info. childabuse.com. childlures.com. childrenspartnership.org. cybirongles.com. cybirongles.org. cybertypeline.com. efc.ca/pages/doc/offensive.html. enough.org, 888-2 enough. fbi.gov. ftc.gov/kidsprivacy. getnetwise.org. internetalliance.org. johnwalsh.tv. keepourkidssafe.net. kidsap.org, Innocence in Danger. lane.edu/internetresources/safety. missingkids.com, 800-843-5678. missingkids.org. netfamilynews.org/resources p2p05.htm/pagi.org.sg, Parents Advisory Group for the Internet. pedowatch.com. perverted-justice.com, volunteers pose as teenage girls or guys on Internet chat rooms, then expose the adults who try to lure them sexually. prevent-abuse-now.com. public.pacbell.net, Safety Net Brochures. safekids.com. safesurf.com. safesurf.com/newsletter. smartparent.com. solidoak.com. staysafeonline.info. surfwatch.com. wiredsafety.org. Family-friendly search engines. 101topranking.com/special_engines_17.htm, kids search engines. 7in1web.com/search_engines.htm. abovedirectory.com. family.nu/family friendly search engine and directory. familyeducation.com. familyfriendlycontent.com. familyfriendlysearch.com. familyfriendlysites.com. family-source.com. kids.net.au. kidshield.com. kids-make-money.blogspot.com. kinderstart.com. wisekids.org.uk/kids_safe_search_engines.htm, wisekids, family-friendly search engines. Internet safety websites from web.archive.org/web/20123266211133/http/www.policeinternational.com/safe4kids.php. getnetwise.org, getnetwise. livewwwires.com, livewires. netsmarts.org/index.aspx, netsmarts workshop. wiredcops.org, cyber law enforcement organization. wiredsafety.org, wired safety. Safe internet websites for children. cartoonnetwork.com/legal/international.html, Cartoon Network. disney.co.uk/disneyonline/safe-surfing/cybernetiquette, cybernetiquette comics. home.disney.go.com/guest services/safety, surf swell island, adventures in internet safety. kidios.com, kidios.com. kids.discovery.com/beyond, discovery kids beyond. kidscom.com, kidscom. nick.com, Nickelodeon online at nick.com. pbskids.org, pbs kids. starfall.com, starfall.com. video.kids.nationalgeographic.com/video/player/kids, National Geographic, kids. video.kidsui.com, zytube. whitehouse.gov/about/white-house-101, life in the White House. wiredkids.org, wiredkids.org. Chapter 4. Protection on the Internet / don't talk to strangers. Monitor the computer / don't get internet. You can have a computer where your child learns to use word processing and has educational CDs and children's freeware that you can download from your computer, but don't give your child an internet account for his own computer in his room. He can get free internet access at his school and the library. Kids get in trouble using the internet in their rooms. Kids are still kids. They don't need internet access in their room. Kids aren't adults. Their brains aren't fully formed. Even if they act like responsible people, they're still naive. They get on these social networks and start building a fantasy character of themselves, then their ego gets tied into it, and it's really stupid because they care what the other kids think of them, and kids are stupid and have a gang mentality where they gang up on other kids. The most profound thing I ever read about social networks is that they pretend to offer intimate relationships, but it's all superficial and it's for losers. If you got a life, you won't be hanging around on a social networking site. Some people say gifted kids should have internet access in their room. It's your choice as the parent. The computer represents couch potatoism. A child should spend at least half of his free time being physically active. At least I was. It's an epidemic, fat kids, and kids with type 2 diabetes. The internet is a fantasy world that kids can get sucked into. I would prefer my child live in the real world. That's why he gets no internet in his room. Tell your child that people lie and in all likelihood they will be different if they meet their cyber friends in real life. The computer is not just a toy you leave the child with on his own because there's dangerous stuff there. He or she has to be told about sexual and violent images that they're too young to look at. He has to be told that unless he's using a webcam, he doesn't really know who he's talking to. People lie all the time. The child predator thing is way overrated. Most kids know better than to give out personal information on the internet because they're taught this over and over again in school. You have to set ground rules. If you want your children to use the internet, leave the computer facing the center of the room downstairs in a common room like the living room. Don't put it in their rooms. Use a Christian ISP or don't even use the internet. You can download free shareware using the computer at the library, bring it home and use it in your child's computer. Many kids aren't innocent. They're the ones initiating, going on adult-oriented chat sites, talking to the older guys sexually, all in an effort to explore their lives. Barring that, don't give your children a computer for their own rooms. Put it in the living room where there's common traffic and have the screen facing the center of the room. Your best bet is to talk to your kids about their internet use and drop in periodically to see what's on their screens. You could check to see what email addresses and websites they're using or ask your ISP to keep a record of it for you with special software they might have. It's all in the computer too, in the Tools menu of the browser. There is a record of websites visited. In the email software, there is a record of emails received. Children will initiate sexual discussion and access sexual websites because that's the way they are, curious and naive. Tell your children not to give out their real name, address, etc. to someone on the internet unless they're absolutely sure they're friendly people. Don't meet anyone unless your parents are with you, even another kid like you. It could be someone pretending to be a kid or a kid used as bait by an adult hiding in the shadows. I think the best way to be preventive is to help your kid get a real life, to be out in the community with real life people doing things. If you don't want to raise a couch potato, put a limit on the child's use of the computer. You can buy software that does this. I think Windows already has it built in. I'm not against buying a cheap, used computer and putting it in the child's room. He doesn't need internet access at this stage of his life. Get him an encyclopedia on a disk and that should keep him busy for years. Video games is another thing. I still can't stand them because I think they're another thing that's sucking the soul out of the citizenry. When I was a kid, we were outdoors a lot, and when we were indoors, I used to like reading books. It comes down to living an active, down-to-earth life as opposed to a passive, useless life in front of a screen. There's cyberbullying, which I cover elsewhere. Kids get addicted to gambling and the internet itself, texting their friends. Tell your kids to delete spam immediately. Use filtering software and use spy software to monitor what your kids do online. Tell your kids to not give out personal info to strangers on the internet like name, address, description of looks. The Children's Online Privacy Protection Act/COPPA means that business marketers who create websites for children can't solicit personal information from children for marketing purposes if they're under 13. ftc.gov/btc/conlani/edcam/kidsprivacy. The Truth in Domain Names Act of 2003 means that a pornographer can't use an innocent-sounding name to try to get people to come to his website. Kids type in P911 to tell a kid they're talking to on the internet that a parent is in the room. POS means parent over shoulder. Try number 004.69, number 25.04, number 649.1 or HQ784 at the Library for Books on Children and the Internet. Try number 303.48 or QA76-77 for books about computers and family life. The truth about children and the Internet. Children are curious and will use the Internet to learn about sex, crime, violence, gory pictures, etc., and even to talk to exploitative perverts in chat rooms. It's fun. They're learning about life and rebelling against the system by doing their own thing independently, but the problem is that the average kid is naive and thinks he or she is a good judge of character when they don't realize that there are a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing out there. A number of people have already been lured by someone to meet them somewhere through the internet, then raped and murdered. To a guy like me, enlightened people don't need to chat to strangers on the internet. You got your friends, your family, and your own inner strength, and if you are truly strong and live an interesting, inspired life, you have no desire to waste your valuable time talking to anonymous strangers. But right here, we're dealing with naive teenagers. They have the time and the curiosity to talk to anonymous strangers on the internet. To my way of thinking, teenagers with interesting lives have no need to chat with strangers on the internet, but idle people do these things, so the deal is to help your child live an inspired life. Some kids are lonely. They like the attention. Remember that children's minds are not mature. If some predator comes onto them online, they might think it's fun, but even if they think it's bad, they will think that if they tell their parents will blame it on the computer or them and take the computer away, so they keep quiet about it. You could install the typical Spectre software on their computer to get a record of all emails and all websites visited, but to me, why bother with this stuff? You gotta raise the kid to stand on his own, know what's good and what's crap. A kid living a good life has no need or desire to talk to strangers on the internet. If you have a computer at home, try to put it in a common room where there's traffic, not the child's bedroom. Put the screen such that it's facing the open room, not the wall, so that you can easily see it when you enter. You can get by without internet for the kids, just use educational software for them, but I'm of the mind to not be a paranoid parent. What he or she doesn't learn now, they will learn when they go out on their own at around 18, so why censor them? Let them explore on their own as long as they don't get obsessed. Every 15-plus-year-old guy wants porn. They will get it one way or another. Forbidding something is the surest way to get them to do it. Most public libraries with internet access refuse to be censored. Your kid will either go there, at school, or to his friend's house down the road whose parents aren't really bothering with what the kid does on his computer. I've read negative reports about blocking software saying it doesn't work because the concept is that it scans a website looking for any word that's on their list of taboo words like sex, lingerie, breasts, penis, slut, etc., then blocks the website if it finds one of these words in it. But what happens is that it blocks a lot of harmless websites which use these words in an educational or harmless context. You can still get into sexual websites that have names that at first blush don't appear to be associated with sex but are. So what I'm saying is, if you want to be a vigilant parent, you have to monitor your child, who will be curious and log on to the sex websites of his own free will. Get blocking and cyberspying software, but barring all of this, you still can't stop the unbridled curiosity of a child. He will just go to a friend's house or access the internet at either the school or public library, which seem to be the battleground these days, whether these libraries should put blocks on the internet or not. Being of liberal-minded nature against censorship as most libraries are, they're against internet filtering. If you want to crusade against something, you could petition to have the school and public libraries' internet filtered. In essence, critics say the best filter is the one in the kid's head. Parents can monitor their children, but kids will be by themselves with computers sometimes. Tests done on filtering software find that they only block about 80% of bad sites because the pornographers and people who publish violent websites often use innocuous-sounding names and very little text to get past the filters. The reverse problem is that the child can't get access to some websites he might want. In that case, shut the filter off for a while. If the child wants to do a report on breast cancer, you will have to shut your filter off because in all likelihood, it blocks everything with the word breast in it. Finally, kids are smart. The nonconformists will find ways to defeat filters. I've seen at least one website that exists to disable internet filters. Some people can get your home address from your email address. Type your email address into girltalk.net/nph-finger.cgi and see if it gives back your home address. If it doesn't, it means your ISP has a closed finger port. If it does, look for an ISP with a closed finger portal. An easy way to check on your kids is to do a directory of all the files in the hard drive and look for files that end with .gif, .jpg, .tif or .zip. These are most likely porno pictures. A traveler is the slang term used for a guy who cruises on the chat rooms then actually physically goes to meet people looking for sex. Safe chat info. Kids have a code to tell other kids when their parents are watching their internet usage. They type in something like this. CD9, code 9, parents are around. MOS, mom over shoulder. P911, parent emergency. PA, parents are watching. PIR, parents in room. PAL, parents are listening. POS, POTS, parents over shoulder. There are several rules of safe chat. Everybody lies. Everybody is a stranger. Don't post your picture or personal details on the internet. Give strangers no personal information. If you feel a new friend is getting too creepy online, tell an adult. Don't go to secret meetings outside your home. Tell your parents. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated by chat buddies saying you're a prude or corny if you don't do whatever they suggest. Make an online contract with your parents promising to tell them what you do in chat rooms. Parents should be suspicious if a child spends endless hours on his computer. Do not put the computer in a private room. Put it in the living room with the monitor facing the center of the room such that anybody walking past can see it. Install what is called spy software, which is actually very common generic software that records all internet action on a particular computer. If your child runs away or gets into trouble out there, you will have a record of where to look. Some people say don't tell your child you installed the spyware. I say it doesn't matter if you tell them or don't. I saw an investigative report saying myspace.com has some good stuff on it for kids, but the chat room gets inappropriate because in the profiles they ask such things as have you ever had sex, ever shoplifted, beaten someone up, etc. icq.com/features/security, chat security. Internet service providers for families. These places all provide some manner of a filtered internet service. i4f.com, 888-654-8288, Internet for Families. afo.net. aol.com, go to parental. brightsite.net/services. cleanweb.net. clearsale.net. dotsafe.net. earthlink.com/content/family. eschoolhouse.com. familyclick.com, 800-4family. familyconnect.com. family-safe.net. familieschoice.com. godocrystal.net/filtering. ifriendly.com, 800-311-2493. inoznse.net. integrityonline.com. integrityonline2.com/kids. mayberryusa.net, 800-388-5854. mbusa.net. msn.com. pornblocker.com. prodigy.com, children's service. purevision.com, 888-243 pure. qualitynet.org. rated-g.com. safeaccess.net. safeconnect.com, 800-642-7200. trusted.net. uslocaelnet.com. familyclick.com, 800-4family. ifriendly.com, 800-311-2493. Christian ISP and filter for those with other ISPs. Mayberry USA. 800-388-5854. mbusa.net. ISP that automatically blocks porn sites. newmind.net. 877-278-9250. Christian, free with filters. purevision.com. 888-243 pure. Christian ISP and filter for those with other ISPs. safeconnect.com. 800-642-7200. Parents and news groups. Censorware.net/reports/cyberpatrol/newsgroups.html. softforyou.com/articles_tutorials/newsgroups_parents_know.html, what parents should know about newsgroups. Porn spam/unsolicited porn email. In Britain, no one is allowed to send anyone else any unsolicited commercial emails. I've seen stories of a few American porn spammers going to jail. American law has not gotten this far yet. They try to fight the problem with anti-spam software which doesn't keep all spam away. In the United States, the law is that if someone sends sexually explicit emails, they have to put a sign on it saying that it's sexually explicit material. That's the only law against them currently as far as I know, but the way around this is to operate outside of the United States and send the emails from virtually any country enticing people to subscribe to these porn sites and pay by credit card. Regardless of who makes the porn, anybody in the biz can sell it. The way they often operate is that they set up a front company which is called a website hosting company, except that these particular ones cater to the porn sellers. The salesmen on commission selling this stuff each have a unique code number which should appear at the end of the email or website. It's a number made up of 8 or so digits. Pornographers know they should not send unsolicited emails, but some do. The street addresses on the websites or emails are mostly dead ends, leading to someone like a front man called the custodian of records, who is hired by porno companies to appease the government law that all adult actresses be over 18, so this guy simply keeps the photocopies of their driver's licenses and social security cards on record to prove they're over 18. Other street addresses on a website will be a postal box number, an abandoned building, or a building with an adult website hosting service where they will all claim they are hired guns and have nothing to do with actually sending the stuff. The thing is that most of this stuff is not specifically illegal and they operate outside the jurisdiction of the country they're sending the porn spam to anyway. In my opinion, we need a law like in Britain. If you send any unsolicited commercial email to anyone, it's illegal. I would make it a criminal offense for the invasion of privacy, and if it's porn sent to a home with residents under 18, I would make it the offense of contributing to the delinquency of a minor or something like that. Other than that, try to stay off email mailing lists. It comes down to your email address. Somebody somewhere got it and put it on a mailing list of people who supposedly view adult content. Don't give out your email address to people who offer you free stuff on the internet. It's a ruse to get your email address. Keep one email address for business and one for personal friends. Never open unsolicited email. Get strong anti-spam software, much of it free on the internet. Hassle the Internet Law Office of the police department in your neck of the woods to find these guys and charge them with exposing porn to a home with children in it. Porn pop-ups. ehow.com/how_4443887_clean-computer-porn-pop-ups.html, how to clean a computer of porn pop-ups. thehitch.com.au/news/web/hyphen-jail-over-pop-up-porn/2007/03/01/1123387808709.html. dig.com/tech_news/teacher_faces_jail_time_for_porn_pop_ups. The Strange Child Porn Case. A teenager in Arizona used his family computer like anyone else and he watched adult porn occasionally, but one day the cops came in, busted him for possession of child porn and charged him for child porn images on his computer. What happens, particularly if you use MS Internet Explorer, is that your computer gets invaded by infected files. Some of these are called cookies. They are used to track your website usage, then the people who sent them develop a marketing profile on you in order to send you spam. Others are more insidious. They can come into infected computers and store images there, including kiddie porn. The kid eventually got off, but the lesson is that it could happen to anyone. I use Mozilla and Netscape browsers, which eliminates most invaders, but other than that, I don't use the internet much. I unhook my modem, take notes of what I need to do on the internet for about a week, then go on for a few hours to do my work, after which I unhook it. If somebody sends me an email, it's stored at my server, ISP company, until I call it up. Get some firewall software. There are free and fee versions. abcnews.com. This story was on the TV show 2020's around January 11, 2007. Chapter 5. Children making friends on the internet. Children using social media / are they real friends? Most people say children chatting with other children on the internet is good. blog.nielsen.com/a-consumer/a-pocket-guide-social-media-and-kids. Children as internet pen pals. People say it's good for a kid to have an internet pen pal. penpalworld.com/protect_kids.asp. kids.loveetono.com/wiki/pen_pals_for_kids. Children's pen pals websites /children's chat /children's social media. There are Christian chat rooms around for kids. agirlsworld.com, teen girls features a private chat club. alzarilanka.com/directory/kids/pen_pals_links.htm. anglike.net/penpals.htm. artistshelpingchildren.org/links_penpals.html. child.net/kcpo.htm. child.net/kcpo.htm, Kid City Post Office. chop.edu/social-media-at-chop.html, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. clubdirect.com/travel/directory/social-and-fun.htm. clubpenguin.com. co.leon.fl.us/library/youth-child/kids.asp. cyberkids.com. cyberleuth-kids.com/sleuth/internet/pen_pals. deal.lang.uiuc.edu.exchange. education.world-sites/sites008.html. epals.com. epals.com. everloop.com. fresno.cnice.mcd.es/tilde-igam0003/creators.htm. girlfriendology.com. girlpals.com. habbo.com. hans.gov.uk/sockservice/pinpoint/clubs.html. happygold.com/kidspark, Japan. penpal-internation.blogspot.com. homeedmag.com/hem/183/mjgoodstuff.html. studentsoftheworld.info. dreambook.com/ages13and14/europe.html. isabelperez.com/penpal.htm. jably.com. jaderozs.com. jefferson.berkeleypda.org/links. jefferson.berkeleypda.org/links. kidpage.org. kids.com. kids.loveetono.com/wiki/pen_pals_for_kids. kidsmc.com. kidsmc.com/penpal. kids-online.com/kidchat.html. ks-connectation.com/penpal/penpal.html. ks-connectation.org. lonkalinksystems.com/directory/tools/kids/pen_pals_links.htm. my.kidscom.com. mykids.narod.ru/dediam/club_druzieng.htm. mykids.ru/cgi-bin/pals/add.cgi. newmoon.org/events/badgelist.pdf, girls. newmooncatalog.com/proteinfo.asp ? number =penpal, girls 7 to 17. pacificnet.net/tilde sperling, email penpals. paultalk.com. pen-pal.com. penpalgarden.com/links.php. penpalworld.com. pirais.com, Christian. pumpkinandcompany.com/pac/links_email_penpals.htm. pumpkinandcompany.com/pac/links_email_penpals.htm. sarahjordan.com/activitiescanada.html. kids-space.org/support/letters.html. shambles.net/pages/learning/ict/penpals. siec.k12.in.us/west/article/penpal.htm. stocksw.cz/kppc/index.php. stolaf.edu/network/iecc, email penpals. stonesofup.com/main2/penpal.html. studentsoftheworld.com. studentsoftheworld.info. studentsoftheworld.info/club/club.php. studentsoftheworld.info/club/club.php. studentsoftheworld.info/club/menu_clubs.php. studentsoftworld.info/clubs/menu_clubs.servnetkids.com/penpals.htm. teens.balkans.eu.com. togetherville.com, togetherville.org. turkishpenpal.tripod.com/turkey.html. webpals.org. worldkids.net/clubs, worldkids.net/clubs/csis/csis.htm. worldkids.net/clubs/kci, worldkids.net/girl. worldkids.net/girls/learn.htm, for girls under 16. youthonline.ca/penpals/penpals4kids.shtml.